Today's video is sponsored by PUBG Mobile. Karakin has arrived, and we are going to break down all the fun facts, the tips and tricks, and the secrets of this brand new map. What's going on, guys? This is Riggs, and thank you so much for tuning in to a very special video. Karakin is finally here, and guys, we have so much to get through in this video. I have had so much fun playing this map, and you know what else is going to be a lot of fun? Is the live event, Conquerors of Karakin, taking place on the official PUBG Mobile YouTube and Facebook channels on April 19th at 5 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you guys are there as we see your favorite creators battle it out for that elusive chicken dinner on the brand new map Karakin. Alright guys, so this is a brand new map with a bunch of brand new features. I do have some fun facts outlined, things that you should know before dropping into Karakin. Now, this map is 2x2 kilometers in size, which means there's 64 players. That's 16 teams in total if you are playing squads. Now, one of the most unique features about this map is the scopes, and the fact that you can only find scopes larger than a 3x in airdrops and also down in the tunnels, but more on that a little bit later. But it does offer some very interesting and unique gameplay that you'll only find on this map. There are no vehicles on Karakin, which make rotations and placement that much more crucial. Now, although there are no grenades on Karakin, there are sticky bombs, which we will break down a little bit later in the video. And two of some of the most popular weapons in the game, the G36C and the MP5K, can both be found on this map. And we know that you do not like the pesky red zone. However, how about the brand new black zones, which is small but even more deadly? If you are in a black zone and it lands and you hear those sirens, the best advice I can give to you is run. These things level buildings. They destroy everything in sight. Unlike a red zone, if you're inside a black zone in a building, you are not safe. Run. So now that we've gone over the fun facts, now the most important thing about this destructive map is loot. And because it's such a small map, and that it is so vastly open, there's so much open area, where you drop is going to be that much more crucial in your success on Karakin. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down kind of all the different drop locations, the loot locations, also some secret loot locations that I would like to go over with you, and kind of which drops will be considered hot drops and which ones will be kind of medium to low risk. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, which is going to be Al Habar, which you'll find on the northeast corner. This is by far the largest urban area that you will find on this map. Now, it is going to by far be one of the hottest drops on the entire map. The alleyways, the rooftops, the 5 stacks. Just be very, very careful. There's all different ways to ambush, as well as using the brand new weapon, the Panzerfaust, as well as the sticky bombs to blow up some of those walls and just have some insane points of entry. But by far, Al Habar, having the most buildings of any of the named locations on the map, is going to be the most densely populated as well. But with that means there is tons of loot to walk away with. All right, now we're gonna take a trip to the south coast of Al Hayek, which is actually the smallest named location on the entire map. You're looking at medium to low risk. I would say anywhere on this map will pretty much be ranked as medium risk, just because you got 64 players dropping in a map that's 2x2 kilometer in size, and also pretty much anywhere you go is going to have decent loot. Now to the northwest corner, we go to Bar Sa'ir, which is going to be medium risk. Now this is going to be kind of, like you have the water tower, going to be kind of like your waterfront. However, there is a point of interest here, which is the large warehouse near the water tower. Tons and tons. Do not tell your friends about how good the loot is inside the large warehouse near that water tower. Bashara to the west coast, high risk. This is where you have to be very, very careful. Again, similar to Al-Habar, you have the rooftops, you have the alleyways. Because of how much loot and how many buildings are in this urban area, it will be densely populated with enemies. So be very, very careful, especially the rooftops. All right, next up on the list is cargo ship, which can also, I would say, would be medium to high risk. Sometimes you'll drop here, you won't find a lot of players. Other times you'll drop here and there'll be 5 other squads all right on top of you. And that way it's just a matter of who gets the gun first. It is very, very open because it's basically just a bunch of shipping containers. There is some hardcover, but you do not want to be caught on top of one of these crates. And the biggest tip I can give you is be the first one to land if you're going to drop cargo ship, because you just never know if there's going to be a bunch of people or if you're going to be all by yourself. If you are, you're going to walk away with enough loot to make it to endgame. Hadika Nemo is going to be the next place we're going to talk about, which is located to the east. It's kind of like a port town. Now, as far as risk, I'd say it's actually medium risk. From the times I've dropped here, despite its size, there's often not a bunch of squads, especially in comparison to Al-Habar and Bashara. Just doesn't seem to have as many people drop here. I don't know if it's just the location where it seems like you're kind of like in a valley. So if you have not been to Hadika Nemo, you definitely will want to check it out. Okay, so last but not least on the places to loot is the tunnels, and these are not actually named locations on the map, but there are 3 specific ones that I kind of want to break down with you. 2 are located right smack dab in the center of Karakin, and there's a huge tunnel located just to the south, which is in between Al Hayek and Hadika Nemo. Now, until people actually start to find out about these tunnels and how rich the loot is down there, it's not going to be that much competition. The only thing is, whether you're blasting your way through one of the cave entrances or whether you're going to one of those round dome towers and walking inside and blowing it up, those are the only ways you're able to get into these tunnels. But there are like 3 different corridors that all kind of intersect one another. Again, tons of loot that will make it that you'll be able, if you make it down there, especially early game, and you're able to access these tunnels, you'll have tons of loot and you'll make it all the way to end game. So now that we've talked about the tunnels, that is a perfect way to start actually breaking down the map, kind of your secrets to success on Karakin. The big tip is beware of campers. We've already talked about it quite a bit when we were breaking down the different places that you can loot, low, medium to high risk, but you're going to run into a lot of people camping certain angles, whether it's going to be an alley, whether it's going to be on one of the rooftops in one of the 5 stacks, especially in the more densely populated areas like Al-Habar and Bashara. You have to be very, very careful. Not to mention, and there's even some buildings that you can only access with a sticky bomb or with a blast from the Panzerfaust. So just beware of campers in a lot of these densely populated urban areas. And never have third parties been more dangerous. Like we've already outlined a ton in this video is how widely open this area is and how often you won't be able to find yourself in cover. Sometimes you have to be able to make a split-second decision whether you're going to take that shot or not, even if you have it, because you risk the possibility of somebody hearing it and then you getting straight up third party because you are shooting out of cover. So just be very, very careful to third parties. They can be your best friend, but they can also be your worst enemy. Map familiarity is going to be so crucial, almost more crucial on this map than any other in the game. And we're going to talk about rotations and circles and knowing where something like where the tunnels are. And when you play Karakin enough times, you'll realize how often you will not only get third-partied, but how often you are left in the open, especially when it's a rotation later into the match. Knowing where these tunnels are, and depending where the circle shifts, whether it's in the center, whether it shifts down south. Say there's a gunfight going on outside and you have to make it to the zone, but you can't be on top. You can go ahead and go underground. Basically go underneath the map in order to get a rotation in. Like I said, map familiarity is going to be so huge on such a small, wide open map like Karakin. If you haven't dropped into Karakin, what are you waiting for? Get in game, check out the brand new map. Also, do not forget there is a live event, the Conquerors of Karakin, taking place on the official PUBG Mobile YouTube and Facebook channels, April 19th at 5 p.m. Pacific. I want to see you there. I also want to give a huge shout out to PUBG Mobile, and I want to thank them for sponsoring this video. I want to thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure, if you have not already, subscribe to the channel, and if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more tips and tricks videos on Karakin, make sure you guys go ahead and leave a like. But until the very next one, this has been Riggs from ŁØBx Gaming.